Hey, sunny day, a sunny day. I decided to come outside. Uh, let's just say the lighting is more flattering. And I'm gonna pause the video. I'm gonna win some a bit further. So, I've been trying to be happier, but not really trying. I mean, I'm just letting it flow. But I've noticed a part of me wants to be happy. I believe that I only am happy, obviously, when there's nothing that contradicts that. But you can still be happy and deal with some kind of problem or effort. You know, putting an effort in something could be considered to be a hard thing. It creates pressure inside of you, creates pressure inside of someone. But it's actually kind of beautiful how there's a point in how if you are happy and you are producing or something, or you are writing, or you are whatever it may be, I mean, working, you're putting in some effort. And there's a point to be made in how you can be happy and still be stressed out, but you can be a happy person. You can be dealing with some sort of stress and even be a bit happier for it, because there's something about stress where stress rewards you. Are stressed out for a while, and then you figure out what you're going through, and then it just rewards you. It rewards you with some happiness. I've been dealing with lately. It seems it's kind of complicated, you know. So I might avoid it this time around. I mean, I've talked about it a lot. I mean, what I deal with, it really all started from psychosis. And now it's gone from there, it's from there. And the big thing with life is that life is a tranquility until it becomes a burden. If you don't let the burden overcome your own self, some sort of wrecked emotion or feeling, then maybe you can actually be serene. But the point is that the burden is sometimes it could be the lack of expectation of something, or even the expectation, but the overwhelming feeling. You'd like to think that in your life you'd be so organized that everything you did you'd appreciate, at least to some degree. But who knows? I mean, plenty of people that are working slave labor. I mean, it happens. Even here in Canada, I am certain that cases of wages not pulling through to the minimum have happened. It's all kept in the background, away from checkups. But generally, but the point is that minimum wage is sometimes not even enough to cover for life. It's kind of ironic to say that in a way. It really depends on how much you want, but if you want independence and so on, it's starting to seem like it, because for me, disability covers for me. I was saying it's ironic because I'm paid for through disability. But really, the truth is, you just really think about it. How is it that because the minimum wage, it doesn't really, often it does not give you as much purchasing power whatsoever. I mean, maybe if you live in like a one-room apartment or something, then you're just great or good enough. But the sad part is, you can be working all day, and you are great, if not good enough, with what you are earning, which I think is kind of a sad thing. Well, the government puts in effort to provide for those that are struggling here in Canada, despite the fact that the government is respectful and friendly, despite the attack ads and such things. I understand. The point is that the government is aiding, but is the government is the government socialist? I mean, no. As a matter of fact, it's doing better than the United States by quite a lot with a few social services, Canada. You know, I mean, the point is though is that really it feels like, despite it all, it's all kind of falling into a state of burden for citizens more and more, and yet, in a sense, it feels like what is done, it is to masquerade and to lessen the loss, but it's not really the same as geniusly saving the world in any way, now, is it? You can say it's because, okay, there are no restrictions to what they can do, because blah, 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 I mean, they're dealing with a struggle with their finances and so on. I know I'm no economist. I just want to put a thought forward right now. I'm no economist, but I'm going to finish. I'm going to pause the video. So I'm kind of heading into... It's not that bad. I just don't want to hear the vehicles, sir. The point is, that worsens the economy as far as I can gather, because, well, debt is money that is not paid. It's as simple as that. But really, what does debt do to the economy? Well, as far as I can tell, there doesn't seem, maybe there is more than an arbitrary measure. I'd like to look it up, okay? I'd like to look it up. But as far as I can tell, if your debt is a few trillions or more than that, what actual difference does it make? And how easy is debt to accumulate? And how easy is debt to be brought about through corruption while some people earn money? I mean, I really want you to think about that and how it should just be simplified into basic income at some point. I think, personally, I know not everyone thinks that, but the point is, with automation becoming a thing and with the world becoming more and more unequal in terms of its earnings, I mean, unequal, you've got Elon who's got over $1 trillion net worth at times. It's really starting to seem like on a 180 trillion GDP worldwide, you know. So he's like 1/3 of the US with the money right now. So what I'm trying to say is, I know they value money, you know. The billionaires value money a hell of a lot. I don't see why, if they're gathering 35, 40, 45% from the billionaires, the top class, I don't see why we shouldn't just be a bit more set at least. I mean, I want you to think about it. I know it's easier said than done. I get it, but okay, so let's say top 1% owns 99% of the wealth. Well, the more you go up, the more one person owns so much money it's inconceivable, can have access to that money. They play it into business means. They play it into the means of business and the means of doing commerce, and makes sense in a certain way, but really it's in the stock market. And the point is that even that has a lot of problems. I mean, that influences companies in a negative way, encourages them to make safer measures, which often safe can be firing your workers, because the value of the worker is lost in so many ways. Only the value of the corporate billionaire and millionaire and CEO remains. The value of the worker is lost. But the point is that as the world, we trust businesses to provide us with what we need in terms of work to survive. But they don't really do it as well as they could. Some of them, even the AI tech bros, are talking about the fucking collapse of civilization, and they're saying they're foreseeing it. Like, yeah, okay, great, I get it, but the point is that they'll even slip in sometimes like, it's great. So like that, I mean, like, they'll practically say it's a good thing that I'm telling it, or it's a good thing that it's happening, which can't actually have happened. But I feel like with Sam Altman, maybe it happened once, I'm not sure, but anyways. I'm just gonna keep this video going. I'm just gonna take a walk. So let me pause the video for an hour and then I'll be back soon later on. I guess the point is that in life, some people are incredible. I mean, I don't really want to say that others suck, you know, even though really everyone has felt in their lives that some people, they like them less than others. I mean, whether it be because they're less interesting or because they're more controversial, I don't know. But I don't want to say it because various things. I feel like everyone could improve. I mean, it's just we're living in a kind of world where people grow sensitive sometimes. There are certain people that can grow very sensitive in life, and if you're in a position of success and power, maybe you aren't thinking about it too much, but maybe you are, and maybe you are sensitively driven, which would mean that get criticized, don't take anything from it other than it bothered you or it pissed you off. I don't know. I mean, the point is, life is a bit of an objective, a bit of a subjective ball game. In some ways, life, there are respectful measures that should be adhered to, more than there. But really, what are they? Well, something a little strange about how now a lot of people that want to colonize space, let's focus on Earth. If you're creating miraculous technology to the point that by like 5 years from now, Mars is settled on, but really Elon has said 2 years, and just let's say 5 years, and then Mars is settled on and people are living on Mars. Okay, so that is a big thing. Well, what does that ignore? You know, maybe there's a point how we keep it going, though. I've often wondered about that. I mean, their proficiency, their economic value is all valued. A lot of people on the world that would want to do something like that would want to move to another colony, move to another planet. I just have to wonder at that point. With the technology, I'm just gonna not pause here, but it's fine. With the technology that is not available yet, that could exist in the future, that actually cleanse our atmosphere, rid us of diseases, this and that. I mean, just put a practical thought forward, although there's not such practical tech, of course, but there's a practical comparison to be made, which is that if someone is looking to cleanse the atmosphere of Mars, then how could they not cleanse the atmosphere of Earth first? Which I think is the most important part to consider, which is that if you can modify temperature, if you can modify the atmosphere in any way instead of just holding people up in some fucking bunker on Mars, even though it defeats the point of being on another planet. If you can actually somehow not get the atmosphere to suffocate everyone there, it's the point that a fucking god or something would have to save you all infinitely if you all didn't just die. I mean, for the rest of your lives, I mean, for as long as someone was there. I've had suspicions about that, you know, like God is watching us sometimes. A life has been saved, my life has been saved, so I'll just put it out there, but really it's seeming like quite a sad thing. I suspect it to be a valid theory as well, and really 2028, he's not thinking. It's never going to happen in 2 years unless this happens, unless there's a genuine revolution, an inventive miracle, a revolution of technology in every way. It's not going to happen in 2 years. I don't get how there is space flight and such, I get it. To organize a mission like that, even to convince people to carry over, that's a big thing. I mean, I don't know what to make of that right now, really. Anyways. So, I am convinced that life is just actually quite, for me, you know, I went through, I've went through some problems. You could say I'm going through some problems, but lately I don't really let them affect me anymore. I mean, I'm really moving on from that side of things more than before. So I think it's a great thing for me because, well, you could argue it's gotten worse, you know. Okay, I'm gonna pause it because I'm getting fucking tired of the goddamn noises. Anyways, talk to you soon. Whew, I shouldn't have. Maybe I shouldn't have taken a walk is what I'm thinking because, well, I guess I'm dealing with problems though after all. Because I just forget about it so often. It's unbelievable. I just want to be a happier guy, but it's still I'm dealing with problems. You know, I can't say I'm scot-free. It's simply not true. I just don't really talk about it because I get how it ends up being. It's just depressing for you, depressing for me. But the truth is, yeah, I have dealt with problems. Actually, you know what? In a sense, I suspect they're kind of the problems. Big part of my life. I suspect they're an overarching problem. I mean, it kind of is so sweet, just not, it's not always that way. It grows to be meaner and more petty and more defeatist. And then it says it wants to kill me, or it says it wants to die or something. I mean, I don't really feel like going into detail about that other than this. Yeah, there's a conundrum inside of me that is setting me free in some ways, but in some ways it's just ended up being the selfishness of everything around me and perhaps even of me. But I don't want to believe that others or even anything but some sort of mental chemistry imbalance would be the reason for this. But the truth is, this time I've had suspicions of something different, and I know that I know it's been a problem for me. I know I don't really like it sometimes because it's a very big thing. I don't discuss it really. I've discussed schizophrenia. Okay, with you all. What I've dealt with. What I was talking about when I was saying day, blah blah blah. It's the sort of truth that I am growing more memory enhanced in a certain way, but they control it. Every second of the day, they can just take it away from me. So the point becomes that there is a improvement in some parts of me. You know, the audio hallucinations from fucking 10 years ago, which I think there was someone said I was like 19 in the way sometime since. The audio hallucinations were really like that. In some ways, they were just less coherent, less focused, less definitive, in terms of evidently the present day perspective on my own self and my mind and all of that. Because it experiences my mind, the illness is experiencing my mind, but it's not an illness. It's more complicated than that at this point. But the point is that I've actually had some wonderful conversations, okay? They haven't really been, they've been about as depthful as like casual chatting with a friend, but maybe sometimes they've had a bit more of a hefty, massive implication regarding living itself. But really, they've kind of, I just kind of want to show this for a moment, actually. Just noticing, they're playing, zoom in. Baseball. Baseball? Is it baseball? Yeah, they're playing baseball, it seems. Alright, so just want to show that, and it's part of it too. I'm noticing it's right next to me. I never really paid attention to that, but yeah. Okay. There. You know, so I noticed that despite all of the complaining that I do, despite all of the complaining that I do, and the problems that I have dealt with. So one thing seems absolutely clear. It seems like there is a lot of good thing, you know. Like, I mean, the point is, okay, there's an interesting thing about consumerism, which I think relates to me. Pricing, competitive pricing is an interesting thing, I think. The fact of the matter is this camera is looking mighty sharp for a phone that I basically got for free. I mean, just a payment plan. I mean, they make you do a payment plan for like 3 years or 4 years or something, and then you get a new phone. You can get a new phone. So I think I should get the new one as soon as I can. That's a genius thing, really. I think it's an incredible thing because mid-range, low range and mid-range with the pricing guarantees that there will always be an affordable option, or you'd hope, that really it makes sense that as the phones progress, the ones that are better get more cheap. I mean, a cheap phone from today is a genius phone from like 5 years, 10 years ago. 10 years, certainly the most genius phone on the market, you think. That's a big thing. I mean, or it would be close. It would be close. Maybe it'll level out so it won't really be like that anymore, but right now it's pretty much like that. It's completely like that. There was even a time, I mean, 10 years, yeah, it just applies. There was a time where, certainly with the camera, where the battery on the back of my phone would pop out after a while. I mean, I'd have to hold it on there. Now, batteries, they don't have that phenomenon anymore. I really doubt it, at least. So there was a time where the battery would pop out of my phone, and it's like, how could a phone be that shittily designed? You'd think it would never do that. I don't get how it engulfs like that, how, you know, it gets bigger. It worked for the time it did. It was not a bad phone, but I can't tell you how it was as a fucking phone. I don't remember it. I can just tell you one thing. It's probably a pretty shitty phone compared to this, though. It was probably cruddy compared to this. I'm taking a walk down the trail right now, you know, and enjoying my life. I guess whatever my speaking entails is what ends up being said. You know, I think I'm probably gonna go to. Oh fuck! I don't have much else to say. I mean, I really have said many things at this point. I've said probably what I want to say. It's been 22 minutes, so I'm just gonna leave it be. So, thank you very much, and I hope this ends up on YouTube. And goodbye.